What is going on? She's just deleted her Twitter. She's getting called out because it was exposed, because an interview got
Following Caitlin Clark's exposure in front of the entire league, the Indiana Fever president is in total. Fierce fans are shocked by the criticism, which is getting worse every hour.
Not joking when I say this. Something's gone weirdly wrong. Like, we hired a freaking chronically online GM.
But wait, this extends beyond a single viral video or news conference. The story is significantly more convoluted. I have all the details as well.
I have said before, and I will say it again, Stephanie White, Amber Cox, Kelly Crosscroft, the Indiana Fever president, they were not ready. Now, Christine Brennan in her book confirmed the WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not realize what they were about to get themselves into with drafting Caitlin Clark, because the popularity they weren't prepared for and didn't see coming.
Supporters of Caitlin Clark are speaking out after the Indiana Fever's front office took a horrible turn. The rookie, who has been packing stadiums and generating waves, is suddenly being criticized by her own club president. The WNBA is a must-watch on TV. Indeed, Kelly Crosscroft's tone deafness stunned the fan base. Declaration. We want the Fever to look like Apple. She seems to be calling Clark the iPhone case instead of. Compared to the iPhone, which is an odd turn of events. Let's not sugarcoat this. The reason the Fever is important is of Caitlin. Her presence is what keeps the national cameras rolling and the product flying off the shelves. Senior executives on the team, however, appear more interested in downplaying her impact than in recognizing that. Fans didn't like it. Social media users reacted angrily, revealing the statement for what? Yes, it was, put simply, disrespect. Then Crosscroft did a disappearing act. Her old account vanished overnight. No apologies, no justification, just gone. As though she realized her error and believed that the heat would disappear once I logged out, but it's already too late. Fever followers never forget, just like the internet.
Yes, Stephanie White, every single solitary move that you make is going to be scrutinized. Welcome to it. Right here.
You can tell someone is feeling the heat when they blast up social media during a controversy. That's just what Fever president Kelly Crosscroft did after her now famous remark about the team from Apple went viral, and not in the way she had intended. Supporters did not hold back. Supporters of Caitlin Clark, the real force behind the WNBA's current prominence. As soon as the video went viral, people flocked to X like bees on a fallen coke. Denouncing Crosscroft for trying to use her as a commercial metaphor's generic commodity. Crosscroft's previous account was removed by Friday evening. No explanation, no proclamation, no cleaning effort, just poof. That quiet said more. More so than any public relations statement. Fans weren't just unhappy, they were enraged. We are discussing season tickets holders, devoted supporters who have been enjoying Fever gear in spite of losing seasons, suddenly feel duped. The front crew of their squad is aggressively mishandling the moment they have all been waiting for. Even worse, before to this, there had been weeks of silence on Clark's treatment on the court. She has been knocked by referees pretending to have forgotten to blow their whistles. They talked about game after game. Now, even her own president is unable to acknowledge her value without mentioning the brand. Please, the fans were able to see right through them, and Crosscroft's choice to run for the hills only served to confirm their suspicions. It is now a fully functional trust problem as opposed to just bad press. Furthermore, the Fever's front office just started a fire. Sophie Cunningham came next. However, before we begin, if you think Caitlin is being deliberately singled out, please leave a comment. If you think the referees are blind, yes, make sure you click subscribe button. Things will only become more crazy from this point on.
I was a ref. I know I would mess up all the time. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that your job is easy, but when it is a simple call right in front of your face multiple times, what are you doing?
Yeah. Just go tomorrow. You're on the Las Vegas Strip. What can the Las Vegas expect from Sophie?
Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna be me. I don't go in there trying to predetermine anything. I'm dialed in. I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
Sophie is the bodyguard for Caitlin Clark, the unofficial vice president of Try That on Our Court and You'll Get Dropped. Cunningham, she ignited the league with words alone. In the first episode of her podcast, Sophie went full scorched earth. Show me something. Her frank tirade sounded like it belonged in a drama on Netflix. Her goal was unrestricted. To rivals, everyone was involved, especially those who downplayed Caitlin Clark's participation. To the league. You're literally dumb, she said, not once, not twice, but 3 times. On YouTube, the video became viral. TikTok and X. It's the current slogan, and Sophie knew exactly what she was doing. She does more than just talk. But this is the same Sophie who body-checked a Connecticut sun following Clark's elbow to the face. Player into an alternate time zone. The fact that she was expelled didn't bother her. I will stand up for my teammates. She uttered those words, that is what I do, but this is where things get trickier. Sophie wasn't just a critic. Opponents or subpar officiating, she started shooting at her own squad. The Indiana Fever, according to her, the locker room, is the reason behind some of the actual hostility directed against Caitlin. People are referring to her podcast, regarded by team insiders as a declaration of war. Fans have been experiencing anxiousness, the cultural conflict in the WNBA. It is not limited to the league and pits traditional veterans against viral stars. Even in Indiana, it's brewing. Sophie is also not here to be courteous, she is here to destroy everything.
Wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody wanted that. But the way that the game went and how egregious the referees were and how they were not protecting players, and they especially weren't protecting the #1 player in this league, the biggest draw in this league, which is Caitlin Clark, and they continue to not do that. To me, this was not a dirty play. This was making a statement because the referees didn't do their damn job. This would not have happened at the end of the game if the referees did their job during the first play. If the referees did their job, not just the first play, every single play leading up to that. If the referees had control of the game, that is their only job. The referees' first job, their #1 job, is to protect their players.
Like, I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them. But
Right.
There's just more.
Let's just say it, Caitlin Clark is being sought on the court, gouged eyeballs, elbows, and body checks. And the complete quiet of the referee. The messages, prohibitions, and breaking news notifications would appear if someone touched LeBron or Steph in that way in the NBA, but the action goes on after Clark is mugged in the W. Think about Fever versus Liberty on May 24. In the middle of a play, Natasha Cloud rams Clark. In a 2-point contest. Clear contact, shoulder down, like statues. The referees stared. Are y'all serious right now? Clark asked, frozen, hands up. Without reacting or making any offensive remarks. Meanwhile, the Liberties rejoice as a buzzer goes off. Sophie Cunningham didn't hold back. There's just more for her, she said, returning to scorched earth. She was right, the sharp, loud double standard is now difficult to ignore. Instead, this is targeted pandemonium. Rather than a strong defense, several competitors have quietly admitted that there is an implied motive. Make her put in the effort, but that's code for destroying her before she becomes very intelligent, and that's exactly what's taking location. But Clark won't give up. It wasn't a pretentious hazing routine that drew her to the league. She started to take charge. When referees arrive, Sophie is out there throwing shoulders and firing up the microphone as if it were her full-time job. Neglect to blow the whistle. It's more than a few bad calls. It's beginning to gain popularity. To tell the truth, it's starting to look like a full-scale conspiracy. You know that this story goes beyond basketball. If you're still here. So don't simply watch, get in the mix. To stay ahead of the spin. Subscribe, like, and comment. The next surprise can show up at any time.
That we want to sustain the growth and the interest level in the franchise. I mean, this is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country, and a brand, an enduring brand, like Apple or something. I mean, we have a real opportunity.
Behind the scenes, things are not going well in Indiana, and this is no longer just play, but a full-fledged battle. Business leaders are trying, on the one hand, to mold the Fever into a sophisticated Apple-style brand. On the other hand, players, fans, and even rival coaches know the truth: Caitlin Clark is the brand. Ignore it, but this is where it becomes cold. Fever, when President Kelly Krokoff decided to downplay Clark's impact. Sophie Cunningham entered the picture, going scorched earth on her own managers rather than just disagreeing. Furthermore, this was not an emotional gaffe in the middle of the interview. No, not at all. Insiders claim that the tirade on the podcast was planned. An intentional assault following the president's statements. Sophie did not just make fun of the WNBA, she publicly criticized her own front desk using receipts. That's not irritation. It is a form of rebellion. In all honesty, it exposed a significant identity problem inside the series. The main point of the Fever is already point, but their desire to create a dynasty persists. Additionally, instead of showing appreciation, they are acting as though she is a threat. The squad has now split up. Some consider Caitlyn to be the future, some people are clinging to power from the past. And you know what? The supporters are not blind. Sophie isn't either, Krakoff isn't either. Based on that abruptly deleted prior account. Let's be truthful.
Take a look here.
What the WNBA is doing with Caitlin Clark is the equivalent of the NBA doing this to Michael Jordan in 1986. It just doesn't make sense to me. You are biting the hand that feeds you. Mind you, without Caitlin...
If LeBron James were knocked to the ground following an eye poke, Twitter would melt. It would be shown on SportsCenter over and over, but the league gives Caitlin Clark crunches, no whistle, and crickets. Consider Steph Curry being beaten game after game while unguarded. Would the NBA simply brush it off? Not at all, but that's exactly what Caitlin Clark is going through. She's not a beginner. Women's basketball is being watched by people. Not at all due to her, the ratings, the sold-out arenas, it's all Clark, the cash cow is her. Additionally, she's being handled like a benchwarmer in a manner. Sophie Cunningham was the greatest at expressing it. Unacceptable. Stephanie White, the coach, assumed a press conference to denounce the referees for their persistent disregard for it. The supporters can see it. The media is aware